Topping your news today, a fiery crash involving an 18-wheeler, a minivan, and a
9 injured, 5 in critical condition after a semi-truck loses control.
In the aftermath of a wreck with a big truck, the victims are consumed with grief, anxiety, and concern about survival and medical care.
Often, there is no time to consider the mounting medical bills, funeral expenses, lost wages, and the future physical, emotional, and financial consequences. At the same time, the victims are struggling to survive.
The truck owner and operator and their insurance carriers have launched into immediate action to defend themselves. They're out to win by denying any claims made against them and by gaining an overwhelming advantage in the civil justice system over victims who are not adequately represented in a timely fashion by a lawyer who specializes in trucking cases.
As soon as a crash occurs, the driver of the truck is trained first not to call 911, but to call the dispatcher,
who in turn notifies the trucking company, who send out through their insurance carrier the crash team for the defense. Their purpose? Gain early access to the evidence, including contents of the trucking compartment, the logbooks, maintenance records on the tractors and trailers, witness statements, and documenting physical evidence such as skid marks, debris, and property damage, and most importantly, immediate access to the onboard computer data. It's imperative that victims, through their attorneys, do the same.
Our firm accomplishes this through our own crash team, including an onboard data specialist, trucking accident investigator, an accident reconstructionist, forensic photographer, and forensic videographer, and trucking industry expert, all of whom go to work to preserve the evidence so that the truth of what actually happened will ultimately be known and those responsible brought to justice. Building a successful case against a trucking company involves jumping over 3 hurdles: causation, liability, and damages.
In proving liability, we have to show exactly what the defendants did that was wrong. Secondly, we have to show exactly how the defendant's negligent conduct injured the plaintiffs. And third, and most importantly, we have to prove with respect to each separate element of damage the maximum level of recovery that it would take to adequately compensate the plaintiffs for past, present, and future damages. In our cases, we examine closely driver conduct and qualifications, training, vehicle maintenance and its design, and we often implement state-of-the-art graphics and animation.
We link defendant negligence with what happened.
And we fully develop our damages, including medical care, past, present, and future, lost income, past, present, and future, and physical pain, mental anguish, physical disability, and physical disfigurement, all recoverable elements of damage. In a case we resolved, a family was devastated by a collision with an 18-wheeler. A child was killed. Other family members were severely injured, including a young girl who suffered a traumatic brain injury. This is a revolutionary technique called digital tensor imaging that was employed in this case, which dramatically reveals gaps in her neurological function.
If the plaintiff's case is developed correctly, most likely the defendants will be highly motivated to enter into settlement negotiations.
But not all cases settle, and if we're unable to reach a settlement that satisfies you as our client, then we'll be glad to try your case if necessary. I've tried a lot of cases in the last 45 years involving trucking accidents, and we'll be glad to try your case if it becomes necessary. The defense knows that we will try your case, which makes it much more likely that they will settle with us. In a recent trucking accident in which a family was devastated, numerous members of the family were injured and a child died. The father was thanking our team for the work we did, and he said very clearly that he thanked the doctor for rebuilding the bodies of the devastated family members. but he thanked our trial team for rebuilding their lives.